picture that you're getting from your words to where they can understand it and they can see the picture too. And I call on Jesus, I call on Buddha, I call on all of these, and Archangel Michael especially, to help me do this, and also the ETs that are around me. And I ask for help with words and the energy I need necessary to transmit the energy to the person. And all my work's done virtually now because I don't see anybody in person. In a way, it's good. In a way, I think it's better because I think people get more out a lot. Because I think we're working also toward a lot of IT stuff growing in the computer industry. And this may be a part of it. I think we're going to see more and more people relying on this. And that was my story. I can pass it on to whomever.
Okay, TJ's next. Okay, let me reset this. And TJ, take it away.
Okay, well, I hope we're doing some good here on UFO Secret Space, is how Janet markets this Friday night show. So I'll put up UFO Secret Space 2, TJ Marcy 2 reports how the three of us are coming together to explore as women. Now,
maybe we could have people. Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to interject one little thing. Maybe there are people out there who have questions who want to ask us.
Well, we can have a show during the week for shows. In the future, we could do that. There's nobody on tonight. We're under paranormal.
Nobody has
if we're
shown
going
up.
to do spiritual shows, yeah, they did from New York, but they hung up already. But if we do spiritual shows, we have to go under spirituality, Karen. It's the way Blog Talk is set up. Paranormal is more with the men that you already know in the business that have done events. So they run their radio shows under Paranormal Podcasts. So I'll put ours. I don't know, Janet, what do you put your show under?
Stuff.
Okay. But anyway, I don't even know where I was now, Janet. We'll have to...
I'm sorry.
Okay, we can start over.
I don't even know what happened.
Cancel that. We'll start over.
Okay.
Go start over.
Yeah,
Ready?
Okay,
Your turn. Start. Go ahead.
Okay, let's go back. Let's get back on topic. Okay, UFO Secret Space and the story the three women are telling. Each of us are telling our part, and I have lots that I can think of when the women are going through theirs, so it makes my mind remember things, folks. So that's another reason that the radio shows are good. So hopefully we're going to put this together, and maybe we'll show up at events and tell our story together. But I did do psychic fairs, and that's how I met Janet, Carol Lessin, and she got in our Spiritual World Network. And we were on a spiritual quest together, a spiritual journey, and I'd like to start getting this before I pass over as to how this affects all of us, because we're all the same. It's just like playing a game in your mind, I would think, that what are you interested in, what drives your energy, and wherever your thoughts go, your energy flows, or if we're all energy. And we're looking now at the level of, they thought when we got the Higgs boson figured out at the lowest level in the microcosm that we would be able to figure out what life is, but they still haven't figured out. They don't know what conscious is. No one. And I watch the science festivals on YouTube, and I encourage you to, and watch how far they've gotten on the plasticity of the brain. But they don't really think the brain is the mind. They're learning how different parts of the brain store energy, and I'm sure you've seen people with a stroke, how one side of the body shuts down, and I've seen it. And I watched my husband and my daughter die being right there when they pass, and that something changes in their skin, and the energy that is electricity, as it leaves, it's like a vacuum. It sucks the skin down to the bone. So I know there's some kind of fluid water energy that we are that makes us animate the human body. Now, as far as the UFOs and what Karen and Janet are doing, I believe this is no coincidence that the three of us are interested in ufology, alienology, and metaphysics. I call it metaphysics because that's one of the first forms of human thought transference. And how I'm going to work in the future, very few people can get to me. I don't know if it's the bots or the intelligence agency or Google or Yahoo or Facebook or none of the above, but my phones seem to go direct to, I turn off I turn on the electricity and the phones, and everything says that they're on. Everything's working good. Even today, my computer was off, and the sound when I get on is completely off with an X on it. So I'm watching some kind of intelligence trying to control my reality as to who can get in and who can't electrically, because we are energy-based. And Karen, studying energy and biology and friends, and she's worked around the world. And I've been on the same street she's talked about, the same dirt road with two different husbands in Area 51 area, and down from the Laley Inn.
Wow.
So I like that road, and I know what it feels like. Yeah, not at the same time, of course. But, you know, who knows? I'm not judging it. But roads that lead to nowhere, or do they lead to the extraterrestrials? Now, I got hairy, weird feelings, so I know that in my extraterrestrial journey with beings that I don't call human, they were human, they looked human, but they weren't human. So they looked different, felt different. But just the fact that I'm curious into these extraterrestrial beings and how they set up scenarios with my cars and motorcycles. And I'd like to talk about the things that I experienced firsthand that nobody's going to be able to give me an explanation. But I've seen how it goes on the History Channel on Hangar One, and how Jan Harzan running Mutual UFO Network, how they take your stories. Some people are getting paid out there to be on these shows, and others aren't. They're just talking free. And we're talking free here. But the intellectual property is each individual, but nobody seems to care anymore because we're all putting our knowledge out there free, open source, but the ones on top are making all the money. And the advertisers, I wonder if they're controlling, or the companies that make the money off of what I see. But I do know that there's some part, and I don't mean a conspiracy theory because it's not only happening to me, it's happened to everybody, every one of us, because we're all inside the Internet. And I'm pro-Internet because it keeps us in communicating and information. But what price are we paying? So now that I know around the world we're going to be voting, we have our own soul inside a container, which is our body, mind, spirit. And here in America, we're fixing to vote for the most powerful person on the entire planet. That's the President of the United States of America. So I'm not a politician, and I don't want to be. And I sure don't want to be the President of the United States. I don't care whether it's male or female. The point is, we have to work together as our mind thoughts to get everybody to be responsible for their own human free will, their own free thoughts, and get them to form committees and work together and make changes for the betterment of the entire human race. So be inside and outside. We're both inner and outer. We're microcosm and we're macrocosm, and we're all our own universe. So I know we're going to be having the last 20 minutes to throw around here with the girls, but I hope that this meeting of this one show I can get through, I'll try to get through on Thursdays and Saturdays for different organizations. But let me know what it is that you want to promote with me. What I'm going to promote is an independent soul, that my vote counts. So everybody vote your thoughts, vote your free will, vote, because it's going to come down to electoral votes. And this is something we need to change in America. And I'm not a politician, and I don't like to do politics. But when it comes to the UFO business, I'm going to be out there for whoever will help me get the real story out. That means connect my dots with the people that want to be in my group, my club, because you almost have to have a private club of citizens that want to come together for common causes. And that's why they had the clearances and the need to know, and why it all got set up from back in the Roswell time. So Roswell is the big, what do they call that on a timeline, a benchmark. And we need to get into how they started controlling Rosetta Stone. Yeah.
Okay.
Am I out of time?
So I need to stop you. You're out of time, but remember
That's
where
fine.
you are. I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment here, so I'm going to start my timer. I have this interview, and I want to see if you can hear this. So I'm going to play it, but I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it. I don't know how it works. But there's some way, I guess I would have to put it on.
Well, play it, and we'll see if we can hear it. We'll tell you.
Okay. So let me put it on speaker. I have to take my headphone off. I have to put this on speaker.
25.7.1947.
Yeah, we hear it.
First session.
Can you? You can hear.
I can. Yeah.
You both
first understand the subject of time.
Okay.
Time
So
is simply an arbitrary
this,
measurement of the motion of objects through space.
We can't hear it with you talking.
Space is not linear. Space is determined by the point of view of an ISB when viewing an object. The distance between an ISB and the object being viewed is called space. Objects
We could hear it
or
better in the
energy masses
beginning.
in space do not necessarily move in a linear fashion. In this universe, objects tend to move randomly or in a curving or cyclical pattern, or as determined by agreed-upon rules. History is not only a linear record of events, as many authors of Earth history books imply, because it is not a string that can be stretched out and marked like a measuring tool. History is a subjective observation of the movement of objects through space, recorded from the point of view of a survivor, rather than of those who succumbed. Events occur interactively and concurrently, just as the biological body has a heart that pumps blood, while the lungs provide oxygen to the cells, which reproduce, using energy from the sun and chemicals from plants, at the same time as the liver strains toxic waste from the blood and eliminates them through the bladder and the bowels. All of these interactions are concurrent and simultaneous.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. I wanted to see if you can hear that.
Yeah, it was better in the
but
beginning, but when you... Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
It was better in the beginning. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I could hear it.
I'm going to make some notes about this, and I encourage you to make some notes about this, because this is what Errol the Gray was saying at Roswell. And there is a story that we recorded somewhere, TJ, maybe you can help me find it, where you were talking about your connection with Errol the Gray. I don't know if you remember it or if you can find those recordings. This
It'll
is
be
back
on
in
Aquarius.
2012 and 2013.
That would be on your list on Blog Talk Radio.
All right, so I'm trying to find it.
It'll be on your list on Blog Talk Radio, because I was on your show, not mine. So it's not in my shows.
You were on my
It's in your
show.
archive.
That was on.
Yeah.
Okay, I will look for that.
You'll have to go back. I don't know when it was. I'll try to find it, but I don't know if you put my name on there, probably. So we can go back. I don't remember when you recorded me, Janet. Karen, we used to do shows, either mine or hers.
Right, yeah.
I think we recorded
you'll find
this information. You were in a deep hypnotic state. Because sometimes because it's the Rosetta Stone.
Okay.
Most things get blocked. Most things get blocked because our egos jump in and they stop things. But we were in a zone talking, which was a cadence of the rhythm. And whenever, people think of hypnosis and it's all magical and, a watch swinging. But you get into a hypnotic groove when you're having a conversation. And you know how you lose time and space when you're really deep in the zone. So you and I had gotten in this conversational zone, and we were talking about the Roswell crash, which you were saying it was delivered. And so that you put a key in, and I don't want to give it. We'll save this for later after we find this episode. But you were telling us how the listeners and me at the time, how you were connected with the Roswell crash and the extraterrestrials that were on it, and it was your connection and Thomas's connection, and how it was not a crash, but it was delivered, et cetera, et cetera. So it was an important key. There's certain keys in existence, so this was a key. So I want to go back and find that, and then I'll play that, and I'm running out of time. But if we can reconstruct this, you were coming out and going to tell this story about the Roswell crash, and you were connected with Stanton Friedman, and you and Tom wrote an article or something, and you published it, and then they made you pull it, and you went, and all the copies were gone. So there was going to be disclosure back. I'm not sure what year that was when you wrote the article, and then they they pulled it. But you and Tom, when you met, started connecting the dots around your connection in the military, your connection